So every now and again, I will ask my daughters, what do they want to be when they grow up? And their answers for the last year or so have been pretty consistent. My 9-year-old will say she wants to be a physician. My 8-year-old will say she wants to be an architect. And my 6-year-old, like most 6-year-olds, says she wants to be a veterinarian and a chef. Now, I think this is pretty amazing because at the very young age of 6, 8, and 9, they already have their dream job in mind. And yet, I recently read a study that said over 80% of Americans working today do not currently work in their dream job. 80%. This is outstanding. I cannot imagine how we got to this point. How is this possible? When 100% of kids who are 6, 8, and 9-year-olds have their dream job in mind. But somehow something happened by the time they got to 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, where they have not even begun to even sniff the idea of what their dream job is. But what I know for certain is that every single person in this room and every single person that you lead, if you're a manager, has a dream job. Every single person. Now, the assumption might be that, of course, they have a dream job. They applied for this job, and it must be their dream because they applied for it. But you and I both know that that's just not the case. Just because someone applied for a job doesn't mean that that is, in fact, their dream job. Most people apply for jobs just because they needed a job, not because it was their dream. Or you might have individuals, like many of you all in here, who you kind of have an idea of what your dream job is, and you're going to school for your dream job, and the hope is that one day you will step into a dream job and a dream career. But even for those individuals, as you are experiencing your dream job, you'll realize that dreams also change. That's exactly what happened to me. I went to school to pursue my dream job, which was to be a pastor. And for 15 years, I had the privilege of leading congregations in spiritual worship, spiritual development, community outreach. But along the path of that 15-year journey, something started shifting, and I realized that my dream job was changing. It went from standing behind a pulpit, leading religious services, to now standing in classrooms, standing on stages giving keynotes, consulting organizations, coaching leaders. What if this 80% was flipped? What would society look like if it wasn't 80% of people didn't have their dream job, but 80% of people actually did have their dream job? We know that those who are in their dream job, that they will enjoy going to work, and as a result, they'll be more productive and more creative. We also know that they'll leave work happier, and as a result, have happier families. We also know that they will treat their colleagues and their coworkers and their clients and customers better. We know that they will have more meaning, more fulfillment in their work, and as a result, they will be more engaged and more committed. So if we know all of this, the million-dollar question is, why aren't more organizations, and for that matter, why aren't more leaders doing everything in their power to ensure that every single one of their employees has their dream job? That's the question. Now, before we go too far down this road, I just want to level set. Because when I say dream job, you might be thinking I'm talking about some pie-in-the-sky job where you only work 4 hours a week. That's not what I'm talking about. When I say dream job, I'm talking about you love what you do, you're good at what you do, and you love who you do it with. That's the dream. To love what you do, to be good at what you do, and to love who you do it with. Why aren't more organizations prioritizing this? I mean, just imagine if you go into your next performance evaluation or your next one-on-one with your direct report, and one of the first questions they ask you are, is this your dream job? Just imagine. And if you're honest with them and you say no, the next question they ask you is, well, what can we do to either make it your dream job, or what can we do to help you find your dream job? I mean, how would that make you feel? Now, I know there is someone in the room right now who's saying, okay, this is just not practical, right? This is not going to help us win the war on price, quality, customer service, market differentiation. This is not going to help us increase shareholder value. This is unrealistic and impractical. We cannot live in a society where everyone has their dream job. Some people have to do jobs they don't want to do for society to work. But is that true? Do some people have to do jobs they don't want to do for society to work? Is it really unrealistic for people to have their dream job? And if it is unrealistic, okay, that's what we're here for as leaders. As leaders, we have the responsibility, no, we have the privilege of making the unrealistic realistic. That's what Steve Jobs did when he created the iPhone. He made the unrealistic realistic. That's what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. did when he fought for civil rights. He made the unrealistic realistic. That's what leaders do. So if we believe that the future of our organization is inextricably linked to the quality of our people, why would we not spend more time ensuring that our people are in their sweet spot, that our people are actually in their dream job? What I'm proposing is that if we want to win this fight against the quiet quit and the great resignation epidemic, then it will require leaders and organizations to no longer try to leverage their people in order to help the organization accomplish its goals, but it will require leaders and organizations to leverage the organization to help the people accomplish their goals, their dream. That's what it will require. So some of you all might be thinking, okay, this is just a major shift. This is not going to happen. But I don't actually think it's that major of a shift. I think it's a slight shift, honestly. See, currently what takes place is a lot of organizations are striving to become the best version of themselves. And what they will do is they will use their mission statement as like the North Star, the idealized picture of what the best version of themselves looks like. And so take, for example, Starbucks. Starbucks says, we are here to inspire and nurture the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. And when that barista sees you walking out of Starbucks with your laptop in hand, smile on your face, and that $6 cup of coffee, that barista knows that Starbucks has accomplished their mission. Or take, for example, Southwest Airlines, who says, we're here to connect people to what's important in their lives through friendly, reliable, and low-cost air travel. And when that stewardess sees you coming onto the plane with your partner and 3 kids behind you as you all are heading to your family vacation, that stewardess knows that Southwest Airlines is accomplishing their mission. Or Nike, who says, we are here to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. And when that Nike employee helps you try on those shoes and sees you running around like you're LeBron James or Serena Williams, that Nike employee knows that Nike has accomplished its mission. And these are great companies, don't get me wrong, right? They have made a big difference in this world, and they've really changed the way all of us do life, and we're grateful for them. But the question I have, though, is if the company is striving, and if its purpose is to become the best version of itself, what is the employee's purpose? Is the employee's purpose just to help the company become the best version of itself? I don't know. I'm not convinced. I actually think that the company their purpose should be to help the employee become the best version of themselves. That the company should be focused on the employee. Currently what happens is you have companies who will use employees to help the company achieve their dream of profits, market share, market differentiation, competitive advantage. But then on some level, you also have employees who will use companies. They'll use the company to accomplish their dreams of retirement and 401k and savings and college funds. And so when you have the company using the people and the people using the company, it just feels like a downward spiral race to the bottom where no one really wins. But I don't think it has to be this way. I think it can be different, and I think it starts with you and me, the leader. See, I think the first thing we have to understand is that 99% of the people who work in 99% of the jobs out there, they do not care about your mission. What they care about is themselves. And that's not in a selfish, self-serving, narcissistic way. They just care about themselves. They care about their dreams, their hopes, their fears, their goals, their family, their kids, their grandkids. People naturally care about themselves. So rather than having a mission that is focused on the great work that your organization is going to do in the world out there, why not have a mission that's focused on the great work your organization is going to do right there in the lives of your employees? Because I believe that if you focus on what's most important to your employee will focus on what's most important to you. And we've seen this in some companies. Take, for example, the Container Store, who says we are here to create an organization where employees thrive, customers love to shop, and stakeholders invest with confidence. They tell us right here, we're here not just for our customers, but we're also here for our people. Or take, for example, Zappos, who I think is now owned by Amazon. And we're all going to be owned by Amazon one day. Zappos says we're here to deliver a wow experience to our customers, employees, and vendors. Here they tell us right there in the middle that we're not just here for the outside world. We're also here for our people because we recognize that we can't really be of any service to the outside world unless we first take care of our people. Now, this is not just about changing the mission statement of your organization, because some of you all might be listening to this and saying, I'm not quite sure if I'm convinced, because I'm not a CEO, I'm not an SVP, I'm not a president, I'm not a provost, I'm not in a position to actually change the mission of the organization. I'm just a middle manager, I got a few people who report to me. What can I really do about this? Well, I think there's a few things you can do. 3 things, actually. Number 1, acknowledge. Acknowledge that your employee has a dream job, and acknowledge that their current job might not be their dream job. Because the reality is, your current job might not be your dream job either. So acknowledge that they have a dream job and that their dream job is worthy. Take time to hear them and ask them. And if you ask them, hey, what is your dream job? Where do you see yourself in 3, 4, 5 years, 10 years? What do you see yourself ultimately doing? If they don't know, it's okay. Give them a chance to figure it out and say, hey, next time we meet, I would love to just hear more about where you see yourself going. Acknowledge their dream. The second thing I want you to do is affirm. Affirm the dream. Affirm that their dream is worthy and worthy of pursuit. The reason why so many people have not pursued their dream job is because for so many people, they've never had someone of influence tell them that their dream was worthy. And so they've lived below themselves because they're waiting for someone to just tell them, that's worth pursuing. And you, as the leader, and in the future, we as leaders should be the champion of our employees' dreams. So affirm their dream job, whatever it might be, and champion them as they pursue it. And then lastly, appreciate. Appreciate them for who they are with no agenda, not what they can give you, not what they bring to you, not what they do for you or how they help drive your bottom line, but just appreciate them for who they are as fellow human beings on this big ball of dirt we call Earth. So acknowledge them, affirm them, and appreciate them. Every single person in here and that you lead has a dream job. I'm convinced of that. And this is it. This is the sum total of it all. That if you want your team engaged in the future, the work they do from 9 to 5 has to mean more than just a 9 to 5. But in the future, your employees will want to know and will deserve to know that the organization and the mission is actually more concerned about them than they are about their bottom line. And if you can do that, your bottom line will be just fine. You know, I don't know if my daughters are going to grow up to become a physician, architect, a veterinarian who's a chef. But what I do know is that in every season of life, they will have a dream, and they will have a dream job. And my goal is to ensure that the leaders they become, the leaders they work with, and the leaders they work for in the future are going to be leaders who will acknowledge them, who will affirm them, and who will appreciate them. Thank you.